All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome inside the studios at CAS. John Mastice, Richard Zeller.
We're back here again.
John and Rich, Kean Sports on today. And we have a special guest with us today. We have our acting athletic director, Matt Caruso. Matt, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. So we have a good show lined up for today. We have some interviews with the field hockey team. We have we're going to go over some tennis, field hockey, of course, volleyball, football, men's and women's soccer, and we'll talk some Yankees too. So let's get right into it, Matt. What made you want the AD job here? What do you love about the job?
It's two separate questions. Number one, I actually didn't want it at first. It's not something I pursued. It's something that Dr. Farahi had asked me to take over because he needed someone to help kind of give it a little bit of guidance and direction. The second part of that, the second question is the more important one. What do I love about it? It's the most intoxicating, passionate job I've had at Kean. And I've served this university in a variety of roles, a lot of positions, but nothing matches what goes on in athletics. I'm fond of saying they're the best student ambassadors we have because they work harder than anyone else on campus. They're going 6 a.m. till midnight most days during the week. Their day starts before anyone else, and it ends long after everyone else has left campus. So that right there, just kind of matching their work and their passion is the most important part of the job to me.
Richard, you had some questions?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, as acting athletic director, what are you doing to make Kean a more desirable place for the recruits and athletes coming here?
Well, one of the first things I did is I talked one-on-one with all the coaches and asked them, what's some of the things that we can do? Because Kean University, we have great facilities, great resources, but we're also limited against some of our competitors. We can't offer scholarship money. There's a lot of things other schools can do. There's some private schools that we compete against that have certain advantages. So I told the coaches, let's stick to what we can cover, what we can control, and our advantages. So some of that was really just kind of buying into and making the facilities as good as possible. Some minor tweaks just in the locker rooms to make those a more desirable place. My man Jay here, the assistant director of athletics, helped me with a locker room inventory. And it sounds like simple, but to players, to have a locker room space year-round is important. We can't do it for every single team just yet, but we're going to get there. So we have that. Another initiative was getting our own athletics buses, which is a big thing because a lot of schools have to go out and charter their own buses. President Farahi said, if it makes financial sense, go out and do it. We ran the numbers and got it done. So it's just things like that and really just kind of matching the passion and the work of the student athletes and showing them that we care about them as much as they care about Kean University.
Yeah, and I seen like you already accomplished some projects. The Harwood Arena, I was reading you was a new floor separated for basketball and volleyball. So I read that you're hands-on. The first football team away game you were a part of, you went with them. And all the interviews I've read when I search your name, like the coaches here, the assistant basketball coaches I saw specifically, praise how hands-on you are and how you are interacting a lot more with the athletes and coaches. So is that like what you came in planning to do? Like just get down with the people?
It's what I've brought to everything that I've done at Kean, and mostly because I'm a Kean lifer. I went to school here. I take great pride in this place. We're sitting in a building that didn't exist when I walked through the first time when I was on this campus. You guys are young. I was here January '94 is my first couple days, and my guy Jay here knows about it, even looking out at the student center. None of this was here. So it's easy now to just kind of say, I'm the product of this place, and I want to put in the time that, all the luxuries and opportunities that Kean afforded me. So that's what I'm trying to do. Hands-on, absolutely. There's no other way. I mean, I didn't have an athletics background coming into the job, so I had to get on board as quickly as possible. And first thing I asked people was, how can I help? Because I didn't know, what goes through the life of a coach or our SID, compliance officer, or assistant director of athletics. Had to know that, know their job, and to be present to know how I could help out. So the first question I'll always ask going into a situation like this is, how can I help? And a lot of the responses and answers I got from people sound like it made sense. So again, I don't take credit for any of this. It's the work of the coaches, my staff, the student athletes, and all that. It's really just kind of crystallizing their vision, giving it some direction, and knowing how to work, with various people on campus to get stuff done.
We should have mentioned we have Jay, the head of the rec department, right? In the in the room. What's your last name?
Sgaramella.
Sgaramella, Jay Sgaramella.
Hall of Fame quarterback Jay Sgaramella.
Of course. I actually wanted to ask some questions about the rec department, and either you can answer. What's it like? How does it compare to other schools? A lot of people playing?
They compare pretty well to other schools. We have 3 fitness centers on campus. Our intramural programs are getting there. We do need some more participation from the people that live on campus. We offer games for nights and weekends, flag football, open gym soccer, volleyball, dodgeball. We post it up on our social media. We would always like a little bit more participation. But we're okay as far as the same as other schools. We would love to have like an overflux of interest on flag football and stuff. I would like to have that problem of having too many teams. We're almost there. But that's what I would like to see from the intramural department. Recreation, our gyms are fantastic. At some point in the future, we hope to upgrade them a little bit better. And we have some visions that if we can do what we want to, it would be really, really nice. But we offer programs 8 in the morning until 10 at night, Monday through Friday, and on the weekends, different hours.
That's great. Yeah, if anyone's listening and wants to, play some sports or have extra time on their hands, contact Jay, and I'm sure he can set stuff up. For Matt, any sports catching your eye in the fall? I mean, obviously you're watching them all, but what's really catching your eye right now that's really operating well?
It'd be easy to say field hockey because they're just on fire, but I'll pick field hockey to start with just because I didn't know really much about field hockey when I took this over.
Same thing.
And now it's our favorite sport to love.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we love it.
I heard the first episode you guys covered field hockey for a long time, and they deserve it. Those girls are relentless, and I had some fun with them in preseason camp, going out there trying to hit that ball into the net, and it's rough, because it's a mix of baseball, golf, hockey, and everything. But they had fun doing it and showing me, and I've just kind of like latched on to them. They got a really good coaching staff: Leslie, Cliff, Matt. Who am I missing? Julia. Yeah. GAs, okay, covered everybody. But those girls just go after it every single day, and the match this week against Montclair was great because we had a good turnout, and really just kind of boosted their spirits. I know it's a big rivalry game, so Coach LaFronz wanted to try to turn out some people, so we did that. And they deserve it. They work really hard, and they're just, again, the word I use with them is relentless. The ball is always on the other side of the field. They're always putting pressure on the other team's keepers, and take it from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Leslie loves coaching. She just loves it, and I could tell whenever I talk to her, she's all about the girls and everyone there. So, a little birdie told me you're a big Yankee fan.
Yes, sir.
And I think everyone in the room's Yankee fans. I hope. So
you got the Savages in the box shirt on right now.
Yes, we love it.
Ready.
Any chance of a World Series for our favorite team this year?
Absolutely, man. You guys are too young, but my favorite Yankee team of all time was '96. Were you guys born yet? No.
95 I was born.
95, okay. So that 96 team, there's a second baseman named Mariano Duncan. He's a good role player, solid guy, but he had a saying. He said, "We play today, we win today. That's it." And that was basically the mantra, and that's what that feels like with this team. Yeah. I really like it because it's not like 2009. 2009, they brought in a lot of high-priced mercenaries. This is a homegrown team. This was Brian Cashman doing his thing, and you guys see me smiling. I'm ready to go. Yeah. I can't wait for this weekend.
Yeah, I love Cashman.
And with obviously it's not baseball season here at Kean yet. That's not till the spring, right?
Right.
But is there anything in the works for them as new projects, new uniforms, or just updating? Like, do you have any role in the progression of that department?
Yeah, well, I'm just excited because I know Coach Ivero got some really good prospects, some transfers in, and some good freshmen. And when that team's locked and loaded and ready to go, they can go all the way. So I'm thinking big things this year. That pitching staff's going to be tough, and they had a couple bad bounces last year in the super regionals.
Yeah.
And but sometimes that goes the other way, and this year could be the year. So we're always constantly looking to make that investment in the teams and do that. One of the things I try to do is give the coaches a lot more. I try to empower the coaches as much as possible. And Coach Ivero, he's the type of guy, he won't let any opportunity kind of go by the wayside. So I'm sure he's going to be knocking on my door right after this interview's over saying, "Hey, what can I get?" So we want to do that and make sure those guys are well equipped and making sure we incorporate this new Kean logo into the uniforms. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And now you said you don't come from an athletic background. Do you think that's helped in the job because you're coming into it with a more open mind and reaching out to the coaches to see what they think?
It's a good question. It's in a lot of ways, yes. Because ultimately, and this is President Farahi taught me that, it's like certain things and certain skills apply across all types of fields of jobs and everything else. And number one, I always tell my staff this is solve problems, So a lot might not be problems, but you present opportunities and kind of discover new ways of doing things. So a lot of it I think has helped because I've heard things and I'll ask the question, why? Well, why do you do that? Well, it's the way it's always been done. Okay, but it's a new day and age. Like, why are we doing it that way? We can do something better. So it's an open door policy. If people want to talk about, ways to improve the program, the department, especially the kids, just go from there. So the number one rule has always been, is it good for the kids? If it is, let's do it and get it done. I appreciate that question, man, because I was trying to figure out, okay, why is it making it click? I mean, I'm a sports guy. I've always have been passionate about sports, but in terms of athletic administration, no, I haven't. But managing people and getting things done, that's always been a part of my job at Kean. And here, it's a lot easier, again, just because so many people are so emotionally invested in what we do. We've got the best coaches and staff around.
So, not really to piggyback off that, but what do you think of the football team so far this season?
Those guys, I spent a lot of time with them in camp, and I did it for a reason, just because, I know Coach Garrett from the past, and I also know that when he gets supported well and he gets what he needs, he wins. I already knew some of the guys from the past couple of years being on campus, and like the senior class that we have, some of the things they do in preseason camp are just, there's no choice but to fall in love with that team. Mm-hmm. And some of the things I heard and some of the things I saw and the way especially this group of 11 seniors or so latched on. We have a big freshman class and just brought those guys in and taught them the Kean way. It's something that get locked in on. So we had injuries early in the year. Of course, tough game to open up.
Yeah.
That's a tough competition.
Great opponent.
Yeah,
great
exactly.
Opponent.
You start with some strong teams, but then going up to Springfield and they lost unfortunately in the last minute, but that was a team that beat us 42-0 here on our home field. And I can see like how much it meant to those guys. And at that point, fall in love with them and be like, all right, we got to get some victory. So went back on the next trip because I had to be there the first time they won. So I went back to Massachusetts. Me and Jay had some fun. I'm looking forward to some big things, man. They're kind of reestablishing themselves, and the future's looking bright for the team based on, again, these young guys that we brought in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, two victories in a row. You bounce back, end the month 2-2.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's coming off a first start.
Big win against Christopher Newport. Richard, you got anything else for me?
I want to ask, so were you part of this new logo? Was that your decision, or is that something they were planning to do?
No, that was university relations. And,
that's a university thing.
Karen Smith, the VP of University Relations, and Joey Moran, the creative director. They put something together, and the best part about it, they made it inclusive. They presented 4 or 5 different ideas and then kind of narrowed it down and then let the students vote on it. And ultimately what you see, and it's been refined and tweaked, was what the students decided. So not everyone's happy in the beginning. Change is always hard to accept, and people, I like this, I like that. But I think it's coming around. And
how about yourself? Because you said you've been a Kean guy your whole life. Would you say 94 was it?
Yeah, 94. I like it, and I'm looking at John's hat over there. I'm wearing the same one. But me and my wife were in New Orleans at a rooftop pool. And there was an athlete from University of Tennessee, Chattanooga or something. I think she was a basketball player. And we were there for 2 days. So second day she asked, what school is that? And once I got that comment from someone else at a school, it was like, I really like that hat. I love that logo. It's like, okay, cool. This thing is catching on. Yeah. I like it actually. I think it helps us stand out a little bit more. I understand the KU was, important to some people, but right now I'm with the K. I like the logo. It's a distinct look for us.
I love it. I mean, the first day I walked in at the announcing job, I asked Asia, who's the OCIS director, great person. I asked her, how do I get any of this new stuff? I love it. And, Matt comes through right here. So.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you for bringing us some stuff by.
You guys are doing some great work for us, man. I appreciate it. 12,000 views. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, what's the secret sauce here, Rich?
John's voice. It's all John's voice.
No. All right. So we appreciate Matt. He's going to stick around for the show.
Yep.
We got some interviews with the field hockey team that me and Rob conducted yesterday. Rob's actually here too. So let me play those. We're going to go off for about 9 minutes. You guys listen to the interviews.
And you're interviewing who in this?
We have Melissa Way, Bella Reynoso, and Jenna Patrone, and Coach Leslie LaFronz. And
Star players.
yeah, and you'll hear me mention the names before before I start asking the questions. So will Rob, so you'll know who's talking at that time. Then we'll come back, talk about field hockey, and go from there. 13-1, .47 goals against average. As a freshman, won a couple weekly awards from NJAC. What's all the success at Kean been like for you at such an early point in your career?
It's been great. Coming to Kean University, I had a lot of goals set up of what I wanted to achieve, and it's nice that I'm working on it, and I couldn't do this without a great team, great coaches. It's just been perfect.
Yeah. The defense has been great in front of you. You've given up very little goals. They've given up very little chances. How great is the defense for you in front of you?
I have strong, everyone on the team's very strong. My defense has been helping me out amazingly. I get one touch, they're there ready to send it wide to my middies, been marking perfectly. Defensive corners have been just the best. They send it out, and our girls are ready, set, ready to finish it.
All right. Jenna, so you've accomplished a lot at Kean. All-American third team, ECAC second team, NJAC first team, over 100 points. What would it mean to you to end your final season with an NJAC championship and maybe even something bigger?
That's like everything. Every time you go out for every season, you're hoping to reach that goal. And I think this year we've done a good job at not worrying about that, just taking it game by game. And by doing so, we're getting even closer to that opportunity, and it would mean the world.
You're obviously one of the veterans on the team. How do you embrace your role on this team by being one of the leaders that maybe the underclassmen look to?
So speaking of like the veterans on the team, there's only 2 seniors this year. So I think our role on the team is really just keeping everyone calm, because you get into these big games and it's overwhelming. It can be scary, and our biggest thing is we've been here before. We know what to expect, and we're there to tell the girls it's okay, and like that we have the skill and that we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing.
When Coach LaFronz recruited you, what was the deciding factor to attend Kean and play field hockey here?
I came on my recruit visit, and Coach was very, very, very nice and welcoming, and I could tell she really wanted me here, and the girls were all so nice to me. And I think the biggest thing was in the weeks after my recruit visit, just thinking about like if I wasn't playing a sport, what school would I still want to come to? And Kean was it. Like all hands down, it was always Kean.
All right, Melissa. 6 goals a season ago, now 18 this season. What did you do in the off season that has improved your goal scoring tremendously?
I think I took a lot of opportunities in our spring season to work on individuals and to focus on what I needed to work on, but also throughout the summer I played a lot of separate games and really just worked on my fitness so I could go out and be as aggressive and confident as I am now.
Mm-hmm. You guys dominated a pretty good Montclair team last night. What were you able to expose, or what were you able to do so well that led to the 3-0 win?
I think it was a whole part of the team that allowed us to win 3-0. I mean, it started with the backs, with all the transferring. I think it really tired out Montclair, so that it opened up the spaces for them to pass through the mids to the forwards, and we have a lot of speed up front, so it caused those goals when we were numbers up.
Mm-hmm. Single season goal record at Kean is 28. You're at 18. Have you given it any thought?
I have thought about it. It would be really awesome to get that goal, and it's definitely something that I would be super proud to achieve, but it also isn't just my main goal to be a top scorer. I still think it's a very big team sport,
mm-hmm.
and achieving that would be good, but as long as we're winning, I don't really care who puts the ball in the net.
Sounds good. Coach, How enjoyable has this success been this year to watch all your girls put in the work and get results?
Yeah, it's really been tremendous. Watching them develop through the years, the early mornings, the plyometrics, the strength training, the hard work. Going to Europe definitely helped us, but I think just seeing a young group of girls having the confidence to play well together and to support each other and see them be successful, that's why you coach. So it's just been tremendous.
21-3 a few seasons ago. Do you have any similarities between this team and that team?
I do think you have two players that played with that team. I definitely see the fact that the team supports each other. We play as a team. It's not about one person. It's not about a star. And I think those are similarities. I think the hard work pays off. I think, last year was a bit of a rebuilding year, having lost so many seniors, but I think now is our time and we're ready and we're confident. And so, sky's the limit. As long as we keep playing well and we do the right things in preparation, which we've been doing, it's just been a fantastic season so far.
Now you go to Glassboro this weekend, number 4 Rowan. What do you expect to see from the Profs?
Yeah, I don't really care what their rank is. It's just a team that we've played before, and we've beaten them before, and they've beaten us before. And I think, we're going to give them a run for their money. I think if they are going to beat us, they've got to play better. And I think we've got the tools and the weapon and the experience and nothing to lose. So I'm super excited to, have a battle between two of the best teams in the country.
Great. Rob, you got anything?
Belly, how have you transitioned from high school to college? I know a lot of times people say, it's always tough or the game's faster or whatnot. How has Coach helped you transition so quickly?
Just all the new drills involved with the help from not only Coach LaFronz, but Julie, Cliff, and Matt. Just everyone on the team with all the new drills and the speed and just one-on-ones always help. Watching video and film has literally changed everything.
Melissa, your role has really seemed to come alive this year. Just talk about like being that leading goal scorer and like somebody that the freshmen and the sophomores look up to.
I feel like it is something to be proud of, to be the leading goal scorer, but again, it starts way from the back. Belly can make a save and then the defense brings it up and the mids pass to the forwards. It's a whole team effort that gets the ball up to me. So I put the ball in the net, but without the whole entire team, that wouldn't be possible. So I hope that the younger girls see that as a whole team effort and that I'm not taking all the credit of scoring because it is a whole team effort.
Jenna, you're the stalwart on the team. You're the one that everybody knows and name's always out there. What are you trying to, impart on the younger group of this team?
I think our biggest thing that really we really made it a thing last year and it followed us into this year is that before anything, before the winning, before anything like that, you gotta love who you're around and you have to treat each other with respect. And I think last year wasn't our best season, but I had so much fun with my team and I got so close with them and just that's why you do it. You're here for each other and we play for each other, and I think if they're going to take anything away from how I've led the team or what I've done, it's that we're always there for each other. I think that's the biggest thing.
Coach, speaking of closeness, that trip to Europe, what made it different from last year to this year that just changed this group?
I think when you have time to travel abroad, you really get to know each other on a more of an intimate level, and you're doing something that's exciting, once in a lifetime experience. I think the girls were close, but to be able to step away from hockey and to just do fun things together really brought them closer. We always have a good season when we have that extra time together, and I think the trust and the camaraderie and having each other's back when you're out there, and that can't be taught, and you're never going to win if the girls don't support each other, and that's probably the most important ingredient. We have good, strong leadership. They were ready to play. They're confident. They like each other, and a house divided will not stand, and it just goes back to all the cliches. So I think that's exciting, and one of the things we emphasize is you always need to respect each other. And you don't all have to be the same, but you all have to treat each other with respect. And so I think that, we have really nice kids that work hard, that play hard, and have each other's back. So I think that trip definitely helped us.
Andrew? All right, once again, we want to thank Melissa Way, Jenna Patrone, Belly Reynoso, and of course Coach LaFronz for taking the time out of their days to just sit down with us and talk about the success. What'd you guys get out of that? Richard, Matt, Jay, Rob, you have any thoughts?
They're just a confident team right now. You win 13 in a row. You put 10 shutouts out. Belly Reynoso was just named NJAC Rookie of the Week for the second time, and obviously the ECAC Division III Rookie of the Month for September. So the team is coming in confident and strong. They just put up shutouts against 2 NJAC opponents, Stockton and Montclair. How do you keep going though? It's hard. Now you have a target on on a team.
Yeah, they play number 4. They have to go to Glassboro, play number 4 Rowan on.
And they're tied right now at the top of the NJAC.
Yeah, they are. But 13-1, it's so impressive, so impressive. I mean, Coach LaFronz has done a phenomenal job with those girls, and they're really all about the team. I asked Melissa about the gold record, and she was aware. She's obviously aware of the record she's coming up to or she's getting close to, but she also knows that it's not about her. It's about the team's success and finishing with an NJAC championship, and I'm sure they have NCAA aspirations as well. And when you have a team like that thinks about everyone around you and not just themselves, that's when you get great results, I think.
Yeah, what was it? 2 years ago was when the last time they were in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah.
And before the season started, we spoke to Coach LaFronz. So I missed it, I think, or I don't know if you asked it, but I wonder if she was surprised the team is where it's at today, because she talked about how long it took to build up the last team.
Yeah.
And only a couple years later, they're already pretty much, they're 13-1.
That's a good point, because we talked to her the first day. We did one of our first interviews with Coach LaFronz, and we asked her about the 21-3 season, and she said how long it took to build up to that season. Well, 2 years later, and I don't want to jinx them or anything because they're doing so well, but it's 13-1. I mean, now you're really building a dominant program here, and you're getting great recruits. Obviously, Peyton Mann is a great.
I want to say that a lot. I catch myself so many times.
Peyton Mann is a great freshman. She's so tall and she's so dominant.
You can't miss her out there.
Yeah, she's dominant, and you can see why she's getting these great recruits and why they're having these great seasons. Matt, what
were you expecting coming to the season for that?
I mean, when I talked to Coach at the beginning of the year, and she had told me, she said, Matt, I think we can do some big things this year. We have the team; they're coming together, and but it's also we're playing in the toughest conference in the country, So I don't think there's ever going to be a letdown with this team. Like, they're just finding their stride now, and they're not getting full of themselves. They're confident, but they're not cocky. They know they have a lot of work to do. There's unfinished business, and they're gonna take care of things. So I'm proud of those guys, and they just have the right approach each and every game. And I've been out there with them, and superstitious just like all these coaches. So I fear missing games with them. So I want to get out there and support them as much as possible.
Yeah, and they're getting things done on both sides of the field. On offense, goals per game 4.36, and holding opponents to 0.43 goals per game.
Yeah, that's
10 shutouts during his 13 game, like we spoke earlier. Belly, the freshman, transfer, red shirt, obviously.
Yeah, she's dominant.
What else can you say about her?
Coach can't stop talking about her. She loves her. But again, Belly, in the interview, like, you talked about her defense, and she's giving credit to the defense. It's all the team. It's not one person doing one thing, and you love to see that.
And teams are only getting 6.9 shots off a game anyway on her. So
Montclair only had one shot the other night.
Yeah, going into the final quarter, I was saying earlier, I think they only had 2 shots, and Kean at that point scored 3 goals already. They ended up with 5 shots total for the game, which at that point, Kean had it pretty locked up. Yeah. And you know who else? Jakar Jackson you see all over the field too. She had like a really impressive play against Montclair. She chased the ball all the way down the field, managed to catch up to it, found Melissa Way, and obviously Melissa Way puts the goal in the net almost every time. Like you said, 18 goals, leading the team. Just all around, you could point out a bunch of the different players. Obviously, Patrone came in here, her dribble skills. Matt, AD, comparing her to AI out there. And she does. She has those moments where she completely takes over, and she'll just cut through 2-3 defenders at a time, just looking unstoppable.
The defense can't be understated, too, with Erin Donnelly and I think Rachel Mills also one of the defenders, I want to say.
Del Bagno.
Yeah, all of them. I mean, they don't allow many, and when they do get through, obviously Belly's there as the last line of defense to stop them, but they don't allow many chances to begin with. So your opponents can't score, you're not going to win. That goes for any sport, obviously. Their only loss of the season
was to start the season.
Yeah, to start the season was to number 3 Salisbury. So, and Coach LaFronz, okay, so she got me hooked on this website. She always looks at, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying what website, but I'm sure her players have to be aware. It's called fieldhockeycorner.com, where you look at all the ACR rankings, which I guess takes everything into account. So I'm checking this thing every day. She's got me hooked on it. So Kean's number 10, which is obviously much higher than their national ranking at 16. There's only 9 other teams in front of them. Rowan's at 9. That's who they play Saturday. Of course, TCNJ at 3. Salisbury at 4, who they lost to. NJAC is so good. I mean, they have 4 ranked teams in that conference. TCNJ, Rowan, Kean, of course, and Montclair. Really good. You're getting a great opponent every week.
And I find it interesting. You're checking that site every day. Like we talked about the last show, we were talking before. Like field hockey is not something like we were getting ready to do the first game. Yeah. It's like, okay, we kind of know hockey, we kind of know baseball, we kind of know football, we kind of know all these little sports that it kind of draws from. Yep. And it's played on a football field, so we're even able to measure like how far where they are on the field. Yeah. And now here you are every day, and it's a sport that we're keeping up with the most.
I love it. And you know, the great team obviously helps. I mean, they win almost every time out. It's great to watch. It's great to talk to Leslie every week because she's so good. She'll sit down with you anytime, talk about the team. She loves her job. She loves it.
And Rowan, that's going to be a tough game, and we'll say a lot more about where the season goes from here.
Yeah. Rowan is going to be a huge game. We're covering women's soccer that day. Kean plays. Who do they play that day? I want to say TCNJ. That's it. TCNJ. So. In the background, I'll have the live stats on for the field hockey team. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, my attention will be on the soccer field whole time, but I'm not going to lie. I'll have the live stats on for the Kean and Rowan game.
Yeah, so they'll play Rowan, and then the next game, the 15th, they'll play SUNY New Paltz. Paltz?
Yeah, they go to SUNY New Paltz.
And then Keystone, and then back to the NJAC with Rampo, TCNJ, and William Patterson to finish up the season.
Yeah.
So we're coming to a close on that.
SUNY New Paltz.
Halloween is actually William Patterson is Halloween night.
Yeah, senior night also. And New Paltz is a good team, I believe. Maybe it's New Paltz and SUNY New Paltz. Maybe they're not as good as I thought. But they have to go, obviously, all the way to New York to play that game. Then they come home Keystone. They get what you think is an easy one. Ramapo, not as great. TCNJ is the one that you circle. I mean, that is going to be a heck of a game. But, of course, it's in Ewing. They don't have many huge home games. The biggest home game they had was just happened. So they have to go to Rowan, to TCNJ, and then you get Williams Patterson, too. And NJAC playing. Then after that, postseason play, you see what happens. I mean,
Halloween. Everybody hope maybe be in costumes. You never know. Get the crowd going.
All right, so the soccer team had a huge win on Saturday, I believe. And let's just go over some of the things that happened that game. Coach Falloon had his 100th win. Congrats to him. B, they upset number 17 Rowan 2-1 on a game-winning goal very late in the game. C, they hadn't beaten Rowan in 8 years. So all that into Saturday's game, I mean, that's an incredible win. Wouldn't you say, Matt?
Absolutely. And I'm laughing just because Coach and I go way back. He used to work for me in the student center. When he was a student here. So me and Peter have a lot of history, a lot of fun times and laughter. Being his AD now as a coach is an interesting challenge, but he's good at what he does, and the guys have bought in, and I'm happy to have him on board. And they are really starting to kind of peak at the right time, heading into the later half of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
And tonight they play, you'll be calling that game, right? Meggers, Evers, the Cougars as well.
Yeah, Medgar
So
Evans.
Cougars versus Cougars tonight.
And 1-8. I mean, they should get the win, but you never know. You never know.
And if anyone is listening, the game 10/16 has been moved to East Campus, so we won't be calling that game anymore against Ramapo.
Yeah, he
3 p.m. start.
Actually, I don't know.
3 p.m. start at East Campus now.
Yeah,
next week.
He wanted. Actually, we'll move on for that. Santos was named the NJAC Offensive Player of the Week. That's what I want to mention. He had the goal, 2 points, game winner. I think Rob mentioned he also had a 6 setup, right?
Kovacs.
Yeah, okay. But, yeah, so that's cool stuff. And it was a great win for Kean. They beat highly ranked team. Rowan was, I guess, 6-1-3. They only had 1 loss coming into the game. Kean is now 7-4-1. Is that right? Wow, 7-4-1. So they got Medgar Evans tonight. They got. I lost the schedule here. Oh, here it is. TCNJ, Rampo, William Patterson, Rutgers, Newark, and Montclair State. So NJAC after Medgar Evans and 5 NJAC games to end the season. So that
pretty much just the meat of the schedule
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
Obviously, 5 NJAC games going into the final. They're already 2-1-1, so they're going into they're already in a good position. You could be in a worse position than 2-1-1. So,
Yeah,
and then obviously women's soccer. Marissa Cook, the goalkeeper, named player. Was it? I have it written down right here.
defensive player, NJAC defensive player of the week. She won that. She didn't get the start last night though. I guess she got the night off. I had the call last night. It was a good win for them. They beat Manhattanville 2-0. Goals by Marina Elena Torres, her 5th. She leads the team as a sophomore in goals. So Coach Doherty has to be happy with that. And the other goal was scored by Deanna Abdu, who had shot a complete rocket into the back of the net. I mean, I don't know if anyone was watching it, but that shot, I mean, it was labeled. It was labeled. So hopefully they're starting to turn a corner. Coach Doherty, do you talk to him a lot?
Coach Doherty? Yeah, absolutely. Again, Brian and I go back about 20 years as well.
You go back with everyone
history
here.
With these guys, yeah. That's a part about being a Kean lifer. So Coach Doherty always has a strategy for how he wants the season to kind of play out. And, you know, he broke it down for me at the beginning of the season, and I see the method to the madness. You know, and then his team, again, just talking about buying into the philosophy and people like Marissa, who deserves every accolade she can get because she's put in the work for it. So that team, and it was funny with Dina's goal last night, she entered in late as a sub, and I was standing right by the bench, and I said, let's get one here. And she went out there, and, you know, 5 minutes later it scored.
Oh, so you saw the goal.
Yeah, she came running over, and she's like, yeah, okay, I got it. You know, that kind of thing. I was like, I like that confidence.
Yeah, I was waiting for her to let the shot go, and she finally did it. That thing just took off. I mean, that was a rocket of a shot, and basically put an end to it for Manhattanville. 2-0 was the final last night. Good crowd. It was a cool night. Yeah, Richard?
Yeah, like you said, Marissa Cook, she deserved it at all. She played 200 minutes last week, so, I mean, that's a long time. Everyone deserves a break. You know what I'm saying? She helped them beat New Jersey City, tied at Rowan. She stopped 15 shots while playing all 110 minutes as the Cougars tied Rowan. And she's currently second in conference in saves in NJAC matchups. So she's doing her job there. They're starting to pick up. They're 2-0-1 in their last 3 games, obviously coming off the 3 losses. So you just got to get the ball rolling. You're sitting at 5-6-1. You can still end the season with a winning record, and then see what happens from there in the NJAC tournament at the end of the season. Yeah,
I should have said to the backup who played last night, Mary Bistracki, she played a great game, obviously. Didn't give up a goal, 2 saves. And, obviously great to have someone in back of Marissa to, count on back there. So that's always good to see. We'll talk about some volleyball.
That's all you.
Yeah.
You've called all these volleyball games.
I've called all the volleyball games this year. No Richard, and but I've had fun with it, and I said it last week. I'll say it again. I'll say it every time we talk about it. These girls are so athletic. I mean, I couldn't imagine diving on a gymnasium floor and I've been getting back up and trying to spike it. I'd be lying on the ground dead. I would be, I swear. But they had a tough loss against Rowan on Tuesday night. They weren't. They just didn't execute. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it. I'm sure Coach Perkins knows that. They lost in straight sets. But something I will bring up is last year they lost to Rowan in straight sets in the regular season. They came back in the NJAC semifinals, swept Rowan in 3 sets, and went on to win their second straight NJAC championship. So I'm not trying to say it's going to happen again. I hope it happens again, but take this loss with just a grain of salt. It's not a huge deal. It's their first loss in NJAC. They're 4-1. They were coming off a 5-game winning streak, and I really like what Coach Perkins doing with the team. They look really good. Brie Calvano got her 3,000th assist this season. That was cool. Coach Perkins actually told me a story about her when he recruited her. He didn't really think that. He definitely didn't think that she would end her career with 3,000 assists. Let's put it that way. He didn't think that she would be starting right away. She did. She's been, obviously one of the most valuable players on this team. And, she makes everything go. She's in the middle setting everyone up for Zoe, for Kaylin, for Sonona Guard. And I have to say, looking at the roster, he was kind of concerned with all the freshmen he had that he had to count on this season. The outside hitters specifically. Trying to bring it up here with the grid. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So Sedona guard, freshman, outside hitter. There's some other freshmen here. I can't even think of it. But he was kind of concerned about all the freshmen, but they've been really, really good. Amanda DeLeo brings incredible energy. She's probably their best server. Kaylin Ross, who was out the other night, sophomore from Montana. He goes every. What are you laughing at? I was trying to navigate this website and get it to the grid, but I couldn't. But yeah, Coach Perkins goes everywhere for these girls, don't they? California, Montana.
Yeah, and I've talked to him about that, about recruiting and everything else. And when I talk to board of trustees members and the president, and I say this is one coach who just gets it and is bringing in people. Like Caitlin is the perfect example. She should be kind of like on the marketing brochures for the university because it captured all of our selling points. Had a great program. She's graphic design. She wanted to play volleyball. We have a great volleyball team, and she wanted to be close to New York City. That's what we're trying to do here at Kean University, and some of the advantages and resources we have. So yeah, Coach Perkins goes all across the country. Doing that and recruiting, and he's bringing in some great people. And I'm going to take the blame for the loss because I upset his pregame kind of routine a little bit. I messed with a winning streak, I think, but rather have the loss now and gear up for the postseason run with those
Now,
guys.
does having that coach who's willing to do all that, and like you said, he gets it, help go into those projects where you redid the hardwood floor and made like a separate side, or how it worked for the volleyball team?
Yeah, and especially when you're recruiting someone from out of state or someone who's not from the area or from the region, it's important to get them on the campus. Again, President Frau, he's always been, if I can get someone here, I can make the sale. If I can get the students here to see this, because every time I talk to some of these recruits and these families, especially from out of state in Florida and California, Chicago, they can't believe that this campus exists where it does. 5-10 minutes from Newark Airport, right in the middle of Elizabeth and Union and everything. It's like a suburban oasis, and our facilities and just the feel of this campus is unrivaled. So that's always been a big thing, and it's easy to kind of add on to those things and build off of what we have and really just kind of sell the facilities and what we can at the university.
Yeah, it really is in a great spot.
And for you, John, is Coach's mom still listening to you?
Yeah, so
He
I
said that was
got to meet
Coach.
Coach. I got to meet Coach Perkins' mother, and she said I was great. But the idiot I was saying hardwood arena for like my first game, and I know it's hardwood. I know it was, but for some reason I was saying hardwood. I have not said that once. She came out of the car. She's like, "You're really good." But
Mom says you straight, huh?
But
I love it.
But the one thing you gotta work on, it's hardwood, not hardwood. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I was saying that.
Yeah, Coach warned she was gonna be your hardest critic. Pull him to the side.
So if that's the only thing she has said, then I guess I'm doing pretty good. I don't know.
Is she sending you texts after the game?
Yeah.
Good job, bud.
Yeah, right. The other two freshmen I was trying to think of, now that I got it, it was Kayla Thornton and Morgan Hall, who have been fabulous for Coach Perkins this year. But from all over. So I was looking at the roster at the beginning of the year, and he said that I have played people from all over the country. I was looking California. Okay. Then I come across Kaylin Ross,
Montana.
Whitefish, Montana. Like, what? Where you get these people? Where are you? First of all, where are you taking a flight to Whitefish, Montana?
It's like population 48 or something. It's like Kaylin's family and a couple other people.
It's insane. It's insane, and she's really good. So props to Coach for finding her, and yeah, they're looking good. 15-7 this year.
You never know where you're gonna find someone. I was listening to that Dallas Cowboy linebacker, I believe. He has a nickname. He comes from like some small town.
Don't remind me of
It's
Dallas
so small
Cowboys.
they only play 7-on-7 football.
That loss was
And
so
somehow they still recruiters still found him just by word of mouth.
I should know this. I'm a Cowboy fan.
He has like a really cool nickname too, like the Wolf Hunter.
Oh, Leighton Vander Esch.
There you go, the Wolf Hunter.
Yeah.
And he comes from
My
a really small town. Like I said, they only play 7-on-7 football because they don't have enough people to play.
He went to school at Boise State, so.
Yeah, so Boise State found him. Like they said, the recruiter showed up and was like, "I've never seen you. I don't know who you are, but I was told to come check you out."
Yeah.
And now, obviously, he was a first-round pick for the Cowboys. So that goes back to your point about Whitefish, right? Whitefish, Montana?
Whitefish, Montana.
Yeah, you just never know where these players come from, but you got to check everywhere because you never know how great that
You
player's
can
going
tell
to be.
John's a Cowboys fan. That
Yeah,
Twitter profile Is the hashtag Des caught it. I'm like, he's still not over that one.
I'm
That's
still
rough.
not over it, but I gotta get rid of that soon. I gotta move on
time to
eventually.
move on.
But yeah, follow me on Twitter now that Matt brought it up, John_Mastice4. I do tweet a lot. About Kean. I do tweet a lot about sports. It's basically all sports. So, if you don't want my name showing up on your timeline 24/7, probably don't. But
And make sure you check out Rich on Twitter too. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's got that hero image with the sunset at Alumni Stadium.
It looks beautiful,
Glorious,
right?
Man.
Yeah.
That's a great
I
picture.
set it
my
up properly.
my Twitter pic he took.
Yeah, so I like to take photos, I like to see stuff like that. And I was like, John, stand here, because I always set other people up for my picture.
Yeah.
So that I can show them what the picture looks like. So I'm like, here, just replicate this. Stand here, hold the picture. And, the sun, it's beautiful
You
over
get
there.
some of the best sunrises and sunsets out there. You
It's a
can't
beautiful
imagine.
field over there, like right there in the corner over the baseball field. You start to see the sun coming down, and you just get that beautiful field.
And what's your Instagram, Rich?
It's Rich Z.
Yeah, so follow him because he has a lot of cool stuff. No, I'm serious. He's always putting stuff on his story, so it's real cool.
It's all Yankees right now, honestly.
Yeah, of course it is. October, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
It's October.
Yeah, it's like, what else can I tweet about right now? Football, I feel football's going on. Basketball's about to pick up, but until Yankees are officially out, no other sport really.
Hey, not until they're officially out. It's until they win the World Series.
Or win a World Series,
And then I'll
whatever
go
the
to
case may be.
then I'll go to the parade, get blacked out.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Don't count your money. You know what I'm saying? Don't count the money yet. Don't count
I
it.
know. I've had enough heartbreak with the Cowboys and Yankees in my life, but so women's tennis. I didn't get to it last week, mostly because, and I'm not going to lie here, I don't cover it. I don't announce women's tennis. Our great camera crew gets everything. They're phenomenal. You could see them, obviously, when I'm broadcasting. They get everything. I don't cover tennis, but I'd love to meet the coach. I don't know much about him. I don't even know his name.
Jody.
Jody, okay.
Yeah.
They're 6-6, which isn't bad at all, obviously. 6-6, 500. It says here they only got 3 games left.
Yeah, they're 1-4 conference. Their only win this season in the conference was against Rutgers Newark when they beat 9-0. But they were 10-9 last season. So 6-6. And how many games you said are left?
4 games.
4 games.
4
so
matches, I should say. 4 matches. Yeah.
You could still end up a little bit better than last season.
Yeah. I'm trying to bring up some stats here for everyone. So Nicole Nin. Nicole Nin is 7-3 overall. I kind of know how tennis works. I know I watched Djokovic and Federer and all those great players play. I just don't know how. Do you know how any of it works in college or?
Yeah, so it's a little different.
It's a little because I know there's doubles, there's singles, and everything.
Yeah, there's singles matches and doubles, and it's based off of that. And then everything. It's just a point system on winning the matches, and you kind of go from there.
Yeah. So
is there a reason there's not a men's tennis team? Is that?
It's one of those things that, about generating interest and everything else. We're always on the lookout for, are we going to bring on additional programs? Vice President Brennan had asked me, any ideas? I said, let me get my hands around, the ones we have right now, and then we can kind of see what the future holds in store.
Yeah. So
So it is, like you said, Jody Valentini.
Yeah.
So this is her 13th season. Last season was the season best, 10 wins. So I guess even if we don't get to cover any of their games, if she wants to come up, or if we could talk to her, just so we have a little more information. So when we come on here,
go ahead, Rich. Sorry.
No, so pretty much So if we could just meet up with her at some point, at least just so we have more background to come up here and talk about it.
Yeah.
And see some of the key players.
Definitely.
See what her program, what she's trying to do with it.
Definitely. So if you're listening, contact me, Rich, Rob, anyone, Matt. And
a lot of these
we'll
coaches
set it
here have
up.
been here for a long time.
Yeah, Coach Perkins. How long's Coach Perkins been here? 10 years now, right?
Well, he was in charge.
He
of
was doing men's and
women's volleyball.
And women's. He was telling me that. I was like, how in the world? And then he told me it was separate seasons, but you still get no off time. It's insane. What have we not covered yet, Richard?
The football team, obviously.
Have we talked about?
No.
We haven't talked.
We
about
talked about the
football.
Cowboys. I think that's why you're confused.
Yeah.
Football.
Yeah. Let's talk.
And here
some
we
football.
got Jay, Hall of Fame quarterback, right?
Jay Sgaramella.
So maybe you could give us an insight on what he saw from Brock Aletti this weekend,
Anthony,
who had to carry the
tell
team.
us what you're seeing from him.
I'm liking what he's doing now. He's getting his composure back. He's throwing that ball really well. He's moving out of the pocket and throwing on the run extremely well. So I'm really proud of him. He's coming into his own. He's getting his kind of mind on the game now a little bit more. So he's progressing nicely. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do for the next couple of games.
That's because we got healthy up front, you know, and everything stems from that offensive line. Those big guys up there.
It is.
You know, and Carlo, the right tackle, he's kind of cemented things. And it's a lot easier to look calm and composed when you're not running for your life, right, Jay?
And you got a good running game now, so all that comes into play.
But even being banged up early on, I mean, you got freshmen who got some reps against some of the best players you'll ever see. Especially in that Del Val game, you know, that was trial by fire, and they're only going to be better for it in the future.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think the big difference we saw from the first game we called, obviously against Del Val with Brock Letty, was we got to see him put it downfield a lot more in this game. It seemed game one was a little more conservative. They were obviously bouncing back between Tyree.
And not much time to throw with the first game.
Del Val was a big team.
Oh, they were big.
They're a good team.
They got the Noble brothers that were all over the field.
And then obviously you have Miles Toppin, who's all over. But this week we saw him make a few good plays. I think he had, 2 or 3 catches and 2 touchdowns.
Had three catches, 80 yards a touchdown. He had the 70.
But he had the we saw him. We saw Brock Letty go into Brian a lot more in this game. Brian had almost half or more than half of his entire season total.
Auburn had a good game.
Yards in that game. And then obviously Asari. We saw a lot of big plays that set them up to score. They scored early. Was it 21-3 in the first quarter?
Yeah, 21-0 in the first quarter, and they just rolled from there basically.
Yeah, from that point, then we saw the defense carry them through. We saw they had more interceptions in that game than they had the entire season.
I asked Coach about and I mentioned this during the broadcast, Deshaun Reed, and how special of a player he is. That kid is so – I mean, he is everywhere. On every play, he is in every play. And I was talking to Coach about it. He said he's even a better guy on and off the field. He's the first one in the weight room. He's always looking to get better. He's always there for his teammates. Have you talked to Deshaun, and tell us more about him?
Yeah, Deshaun's just a solid guy. You know, the young kids joke around, call him Grandpa and everything else, and he has fun with. You know, he's only 24 years old, but to them, he's ancient. But yeah, he's a solid kind of just. You know, he's not a fiery kind of guy, but he leads by example, and a lot of those guys look up to him, especially on that defensive side of the ball, and they follow his lead. So that that defensive line, man, we got some senior leaders up there: Pete, Deshaun, Jamel. I mean, they go after it, and it's a tough team. And then those linebackers and D-backs, man, they bring the wood.
Yeah.
Dietrich and Dante, man, they're small. By football standards, linebackers, but man, they can hit. So and they take a lot of pride in it, especially that special turnover juice that Coach Kreider supplies them with when they make some plays on the ball.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, you don't want to know about it. Everyone asks, what's in that? Nope, it's a secret.
Well, like you said, Deshaun Reed, or not Deshaun Reed. Why am I saying? Deshaun Reed. He had a sack and a half in that game. And that line, Christopher Newport's only 73 yards rushing on 30 attempts, John.
Yeah.
So we didn't see them really get anything off that game as far as their rushing. I feel like I saw the quarterback get most of the rushing yards that game. I don't know if that was the official stat, but every time I looked up, it seemed like he was managing to get the most yards.
Tons of turnovers, too. Bassani had 2 picks. Capizzoli had a pick, I believe. And
well, they held Jack Anderson, the quarterback, to 11 for 28, 129 yards.
And he was one of the best
players
QBs in the conference last season, so that's impressive to me. I mean, that just shows they're getting good and good really quick, and Coach Garrett's doing a great job with them, obviously.
I think the next game, like I said, we just got to hopefully see if they could just drive up the field consistently. A lot of their scoring out this game came from those, long plays, whether it was Asari broke off 2 big runs.
Yeah.
Was it Auburn or Toppin who had that first long reception?
It was Toppin.
But, so the first catch of the game, I think, was their first. And he went down the field and was running in for a touchdown. Eventually scored 2, I believe, in that game. 2 touchdowns for Toppins. Yeah, 2 Toppins, 2 receptions, 80 yards.
Yeah.
So I believe it was Auburn who had that first catch, but Toppins did pitch in with a 76-yarder.
Yeah. But being honest here, obviously the big plays were what got them out to the big lead, and they probably put it in cruise control from there, but it was really the tail of the game was on the big plays. They were able, even the one that set up the last touchdown, I think Asari had like a 75-yard run that set it up. You want to see longer sustained drives, but if you're going to be able to, get 75 yards in one play and finish it off, you'll obviously take it. You'll obviously take it.
And the defense. I think Christopher Newport had 2 turnovers on special teams.
The defense was really impressive for me for Kean. They were swarming the ball. They were all over the place, and they didn't play chop liver. They played Jack Anderson, who I took a look at his stats last season. He was one of the best in the NJAC. So I talked to Coach Garrett before the season. He said defense is going to be the strong point of this team. Defense is going to dictate how the game goes. And 30-6 your final, I think that says it all, basically.
It does. And next up, they got Rowan, right?
Yep.
Rowan is next.
And they lost to Rowan end of season last year, 35-20. So hopefully they'll be able to bounce back and avenge that loss.
And I don't know how good Rowan is. Anyone? No.
They lost to. They played Wesley tough.
Yeah,
lost by 1 point. So
obviously we know how Wesley
they're
is.
1-3, Rowan. But obviously better than a record if they're playing Wesley that tough. So
of course.
It's gonna be a tough game. I think it's gonna be another true test, just the barometer. But I think our guys are ready. It's the second homecoming. Apparently 3 schools have scheduled their homecoming against us this year. So we've already ruined 1. Let's go get 2 more, guys.
Yeah. So they're 2-2 now. Let's say they go into Rowan and win. Then they got TCNJ. TCNJ, I don't think they're as good. You can't put the win down, obviously, but let's say they could do that. Salisbury, very tough. Wesley, very tough. But there's a good chance that this team could end with at least 5 wins. I don't see why not. From what I've seen, how much better they've gotten. Being real, Salisbury and Wesley, obviously the 2 you'd circle that are going to be very tough. Not impossible, but very tough. Richard, did I miss anything here with any sports that I was supposed to go over?
I believe we touched them all. We got Hall of Fame quarterbacks inputs here. We got the AD input here. We got your input. You want to talk about some other things going on in the sports world?
Yeah.
Well, you got a lot going on, whether it's the NBA,
I put some
baseball.
so I'm trying to end the show every week with some closing thoughts, and it could be anything from Kean Sports to us announcing Yankee baseball, Jets, Giants.
Like I said earlier, the only thing that matters right now is Yankee baseball.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
So let's talk about Yankee baseball.
Savages in the box. What else do you need to say?
Rays and Astros play tonight. Garrett Cole against Tyler Glasnow. Let's go around the table. Who are you gonna pick? I think the Astros. I think the Rays magic comes.
I don't pick neither. I don't want to.
Well, you gotta pick someone.
On anything.
You gotta pick someone.
My brother asked me that the other day. So you think the Rays can take? I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
We're 3 and 4.
I'm not doing that.
Everyone keeps. My brother asked me the same thing. Like, I'm rooting for no one. Well, that's a lie. I think that's a lie. You would rather face the Rays over the Astros. Right?
That's not true either, though, because it's still a division team right there, and you're talking playoffs. Those games are going to be hard no matter what.
I'm not saying they're not going to be hard, but you would.
And then the Astros.
You would definitely rather play the Rays than the Astros. You're lying to yourself.
I'd rather skip right to the World Series.
Rob, you're a Yankee fan. Well, okay.
See, that's why he doesn't have a microphone.
All right. Well, I want to thank Matt for coming on.
Hold on real quick. Let's finish these thoughts up.
What you got?
We got Yankees fans here. Yeah. Our pitching is going to be fresh, right? Now, we had this nice little break. It's 5 games. Obviously, we sweat. Didi bounced off the slump. Obviously, some fans took that as disrespect. I didn't think it was what he did after the home run. I thought he was just enjoying the view.
Honestly, when he hit the ball and he, was like, whatever, I thought he hit it foul. That's what I thought he was reacting to.
You need more of that in baseball, man.
I love it.
You need these guys to show their personalities because kids will latch on to that.
Mm-hmm.
And, let them play a little bit. Let them have
baseball.
some fun.
Did you see the commercial that the MLB did? I thought that was sick.
Which commercial?
So they added, all the black and white old video with the new video.
I didn't check that out yet.
Oh, it's one of the best commercials I've ever seen outside of the Frank Sinatra, Derek Jeter, Gatorade commercial. That was phenomenal. But, Richard, you happy now? You good?
Yeah, no.
I'm just going to add one thing. There's a women's lacrosse player out there, Lauren Munoz, who has challenged me to a race. So we're going to make it into a fundraiser. I'm 44 years old. I'm 235 pounds. And if I can beat a in-shape college athlete in a mile race, she's going to have some explaining to do. So, Lauren, I'm coming for you. We haven't set the date just yet, but we're going to make this happen. We're going to raise some money for a good cause. And, I'll come back on to promote it once we get it done.
It's going to be on the field, around the track?
Around the track, yeah, baby. We're going to draw a crowd. We're going to
How does it even come up, though?
Good fun. I ran a quarter mile with them when they were doing conditioning a couple weeks ago, and I happened to beat her in that, and she's been upset ever since. I actually stopped and slowed down at the finish line so she could pass me. So.
And what's the fundraiser for?
We're probably going to dedicate it. It's going to be a Stephen Strong event
cool.
to support Stephen and our men's volleyball. So we're doing a couple other things during the year for that. Some of the student athletes are putting together kind of like a formal, semi-formal event to raise money again for that. Mm-hmm. And at Kean we believe it's a family. Mm-hmm. And when there's tough times, family comes together. So that's what we're doing. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. I got to get back out there and start getting into shape because Lauren's pretty fast.
You better do
We're gonna
that
have
before
fun
she
with it.
gets in season, 'cause it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
Well, you let us know when it is. We'll announce it on here, and we'll obviously be there, and it'll be fun. One more thing. Swim starts this week against Ramapo.
Yeah,
Ramapo. So go out and watch them. They're cool. Our team, our camera people will be, I believe, will be covering it. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, that starts this weekend. Again, thanks to Matt, Jay, Rob coming, my co-host Rich, who's awesome. Thank you for joining us
John.
today.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you, guys.
fellas.
All right,
we'll
we'll
see
be
y'all
back
next
here
week.
next week at 2 o'clock. You'll hear the recording on the Kean Athletics Twitter. Thanks for listening. Have a great day, everyone.